Welcome back. It's now 4 minutes past 7 a.m. It's the 26th day of September 2023. Welcome to the program. It's now People and Politics. And right about now, let me take you through the front page of our local dailies. Okay. I have got 4 papers. Let me start with this People Daily. On the front page of the People Daily, new rules for KCSE students. New rules for KCSE students. Relief as grading system is reviewed. National examination candidates will only have 2 mandatory subjects and will be graded based on the 5 exams in which they get highest scores, raising their chances of advancing to TVETs or universities. That is a story on the front page of the People Daily. Now, these are some of the measures taken by the Education Ministry, by CS Machogu, and now the county bosses have been given bigger roles in managing how exams will be administered. And now grading system is that mathematics and 1 language will be compulsory. Final score to be based on 5 best tests. And finally, there is that bit of leave review. Teachers who will be on leave in the exam period have been recalled. Now, all this is an effort to aid in the examination setting and marking of the exams in the country. Magistrate protest at delays in Kimorer graft case. She says that quote-unquote faceless officers frustrating 63 billion shillings corruption case against former CS. That is the situation on the front page of the People Daily. Eat indigenous food for better health. Kenyans told. All right, page 24. Eat healthy. That is the only thing we have. Good health. All right. Continuing, magistrate cite frustration in Kimorer case. That is the anti-corruption chief magistrate, Magistrate Eunice Newto, put the office of the Director of Public Prosecution on the spot of what she says that there are some faceless people who are frustrating the Kimorer case, where some former top government officials are also cited. And that is a case to take a look at. Moving fast. Far-reaching changes await KCSE candidates. That's on page 4 of the People Daily. Reforms to include new grading system where only math and 1 language will be used to set mean grade. The Minister of Education yesterday announced the changes in how this year's national examination will be administered. Even it stated that the new Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education grading system will be applied immediately. So if you are going to sit your KCSE, this is going to affect your next grading. So a record 3.5 million candidates are set to sit various national examinations, CAPSEA, KCPE, and KCSE between October 30th and November 24th. I'm just waiting to see how that will be. NHIF Boma stop on agenda as House resumes. They have been on a 1-month recess, and now members of National Assembly are expected to deliberate on various bills and motions in new session. The talks between President William Ruto, Kenya Kwanza, and Raila Odinga's Azimio la Umoja could also find their way into the August House if the negotiating teams reach consensus on key issues. Interesting times ahead. All right. There is a case here where a woman in Maigo murder case now freed for lack of evidence. And the story says that a woman arrested in connection with the murder of Nairobi Hospital acting finance director Eric Maigo at his Woodley home in Kilimani area has been freed by a Nairobi court after detectives found no evidence linking her to the offense. And now she is free. Cynthia Lusenga Andayo, alias Flora Akoth Okonda, who was cuddling a baby while in the dock, walked free after police actually disclosed to Milimani Senior Principal Magistrate Bernard Choi that, quote unquote, we found no evidence to link the suspect to the heinous and brutal killing of Maigo. And that is how the judge freed the lady in as far as this case is concerned. So back to the investigating officers to find out what is happening. Chicken land, male residents wings to fly. Good story here on page 8. You can take a look at that. All right, moving faster on to another paper here, the Star newspaper. Ruto returns to squabbles and UDA tough wars. Politics, interesting. Ruto returns to squabbles and UDA tough wars. That is now discord pits senior ministry officials and political heavyweights. And president jets back to party infighting, public outrage. But this usually happens when the president is away. I'll give you just a quick overview of what has happened in the past and how some top government officials are taking advantage with the proverbial say that when the cat is away, the cat will always find its moment to celebrate. Irene Mwathe, political analyst, karibu sana to the show.
Thank you.
Well, the cat is away. Rat is always strolling and patrolling the area, trying to see what is happening, and that's the moment a rat will always take advantage of the situation. Good morning.
Morning to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So while the president is away, we usually see what happens around our country. Good to see you.
The juniors have it's time to even say,
right,
I'm the one on the drone.
Yes.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, what does that really translate to the presidency and even the governance system? Because the president is a symbol of authority, home and away. But when he's away, we've seen some situations where his lieutenants are always, taking advantage of the situation, trying to go overboard, giving some directives which are not, what Americans would say, beyond their pay grade.
That's true. Actually, the president is the president.
Yes.
Whether he's asleep, whether he's away, wherever he is, we have a president in the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah.
And there's no vacuum. So at whatever time and wherever he is, the president of the Republic of Kenya is definitely the president. So some of these things are jokes, but it's good to know that sometimes we may take the jokes too far. Let them not go beyond whatever that they can bring some suspense in the Republic. Otherwise, there is no vacuum in the Constitution of Kenya.
None.
And we can remember some time ago when the president had issues at The Hague, there was a way of leaving the country just because, and there was a way of adding over and knowing now that I'm away and for some issues that are international and which may bring or may are looked at even at international level.
Yeah.
So this is how you be left in charge.
And for the benefit of our viewers,
we saw the president Kenyatta at that time leaving President the deputy is deputy Ruto that time when he had issues at we have not seen that. When the president is going for official visits and all that.
Yeah.
So when people say nimeambiwa nikalie, those are jokes. And Kenyans should not.
We might say that that's a joke taken too far. I mean, there are consequences and ramifications of having such kind of, it might sound like a joke.
Yes. That's why I'm saying some jokes, we should not take them too far.
Yeah.
Because the interpretation, both here in Kenya internally and also to the outside world, the international community, they may see as if we are not serious in our governance systems when people are taking the jokes that far. So it may also have been an issue of people wanting to make, any publicity is publicity, either negative or positive. There may be an issue of maybe somebody wanting to be on top of others.
Yeah.
So I'm communicating that I'm the super minister or I'm the super CS. That kind of communication. So, but that kind of those kind of talks should be put at bay.
Yes.
They should not occur, especially from senior government officials of the level of CS.
Thank you. All right. That's as far as that's concerned. So Ruto returns to squabbles and UDA tough wars. What do you really make of this headline? Ruto returns to squabbles and tough wars. Let me just take you through the front page of that. Is actually what's on the front page of the Star newspaper. Ruto returns to squabbles and tough on UDA tough wars. Very quickly, again on the front page of the Daily Nation, we get into that shortly. Reading Uhuru's script. A year after taking the reins of power, the Kenya Kwanza government is implementing projects it campaigned against, albeit with different names, including the BBI project that's been couched as bipartisan talks. That is a story here. So which way? There's that issue of debt management, bipartisan talks, as well as Prime Minister's office. All of them are political. Kenya Kwanza honchos were all over the place rallying at Uhuru government for borrowing. However, 1 year later, appetite for debt has grown. Again, remember what Nyakango said, the control of budget, that so far our economic outlook is not all that okay. She said that over the weekend. What do you make of this?
We all can understand that the economic situation is not favorable, even whatever the control of budget said. But when we look at the situation, the government has sources of getting money or sources of income. And one of it is taxation. You can tax your people, but there's a level you can go beyond. The other source of revenue for the government is borrowing. So if at all if we have gone away and taxed our people to a certain level, definitely irrespective of the campaign time saying that the borrowing is bad, we will not borrow. If we don't have any other avenue, if the government of the day doesn't have any other option left, that's where they go. They will go. And when looking at it, the situation the way it is, we can see even going borrowing more. Even more than we have done now, because that is the avenue left.
Very good.
So at the end of the day, we Kenyans will come to differentiate between the campaign period and the actual implementation of the government.
Okay. All right. That is on the front page of the Standard newspaper, reading Uhuru's script. Nafchali Nyamigo, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Victor.
Karibu sana. All right. So the Daily Nation here on the front page, new KCSE grading boost for students. New KCSE. I don't know why that's becoming a tongue twister. Okay, I need some water. I'll take some water after the break. New KCSE grading boost for students. New grading system to be implemented from this year, and which is set to benefit over 5 million learners. Will reduce the number of compulsory subjects from 5 to 2, compulsory subjects from 5 to 2, mathematics and one of the languages. This means that more candidates are more likely to score more grades and qualify to join tertiary colleges. This is on the front page of the Daily Nation. What's played? Mount Kenya leaders are united, insists Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. What's played? Mount Kenya leaders are united. You are on your own. UDA tells Gerard Gay on term limits. That is going to be our discussion here. We want to dig deeper as far as that is concerned. I'm going nowhere, says Raila. That's on the front page. I am going nowhere, says Raila. And he says, the day I decide to go back to Bondo, I will not ask for anyone's permission. I will find my way there. Certainly, that time has not yet come. I'm still here. So let them shut up. That's according to Raila Odinga. Heavy words. Nyambigo, let me just get to a point of that as we continue. I'm not going anywhere. What does it really mean?
Okay, it means that the Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga has a purpose on earth. And and in his own evolution,
has a purpose on earth.
A purpose means there is that feeling or emotion he has that he was created for something, and in his own thinking he has not achieved it. So whether it is now or tomorrow, he has that belief in himself and the freedom from doubt that at some given point in time, it will come to pass. This is why he says, I am not going to Bondo. He has to accomplish his purpose. He has to function effectively in regard to his political what? Vision and a dream. So it is in order, because every one of us has been created for a purpose. And the Honorable Raila Odinga feels that he has the energy, he has the vigor, he has the vision, he has the harmony to drive this nation to a place where he thinks is the best. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about this one, gentlemen. New KCSE grading boost for students. The ministry gave that. Probably you also want to chime on that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
On the statement that Raila saying is not going to model, I think it's a clear statement to even his colleagues in his coalition that don't expect me to hand over or to support any of you come 2027, because we can see some of the partners. We have Kalonzo Musyoka, we have Martha Karua, all of them, the Azimio Brigade. Some of them think that, and there's been the talk all over that. 6 times, trying or 6 times, that's way too much. So maybe it's a time you can hand over or support somebody else to give the presidency a try. And I think the talk has been there that he cannot try, he will not be in the ballot in 2027. But I think Raila is making it clear that I'll be there. So it's upon those who are waiting to be supported by him to know a way forward. Otherwise, he is telling people that I still have the energy to be in the ballot.
Remember the one
that
bullet.
Is the statement.
Remember the one bullet. That's stated from 2017. And we all know what happened in 2022. People said, okay, it's a done deal. He can now go home and relax. The call to Bondo has been there. I mean, during last election, some people were making fun of him, Wilbaro now taken, all were in politics, which is okay.
I do remember that statement meant actually Kalonzo stayed for so long having not joined him. Because Kalonzo was saying there was an agreement that we tried together in 2017. If either we make it or don't, 2022, it would have been my chance. That is what Kalonzo was saying. But now, when it came to 2022, Raila was still there. So you remember Kalonzo came almost at the tail hours of the...
Yes.
Just because he was saying, now is my chance. I think Raila is putting it clear, early enough, so that none of these people will bring these issues again that I was promised. Is making sure that I'm the general of my battalion. So at the end of the day, you people support me, but know that I'm not leaving it to anybody. 2027.
Nyambigo, let me just ask you this one, Naftali. What do you think, just to put it as we go for a break, the effect of Kalonzo Musyoka and Martha Karua, the Jeremiah Kione of this world, staying together? We see Eugene Wamalwa also still in the fold. They're not going anywhere. But more specifically, Kalonzo Musyoka staying with Raila Odinga, because people said the way he said that Kalonzo joined the bandwagon slightly towards the tail end. And that made a bit of some decision making a bit difficult on who was going to take which role in terms of delegation of duties and roles in the party or even during campaigns. But what would you like to really change moving forward if they were to stay intact until 2027?
Now, there are a number of aspects. Number one, their quality of being united is crucial. Them working together up to the next elections.
Right.
And even their breakup again, it may work for either side. So my thinking is this. If they invite and collaborate with the principles of democracy, whereby within the bracket of Azimio, they will embrace the doctrine that the numerical majority of an organized group can make decisions binding for the whole group. Then we will have a group or a political system that will give the other side a run for their money. But if they misbehave, quote unquote, if they misbehave in organizing themselves, then I can say authoritatively that they cannot be able to defeat Kenya Kwanza. Because they have tried it before. Kalonzo and Raila Odinga have been consistently like for 15 years, working together, either fully or partially. But you cannot eliminate or disassociate Kalonzo Musyoka and Raila Odinga. Now, in the event Raila Odinga insists that I will be on the ballot, as he has been, then Kalonzo Musyoka, on a personal view, he may feel disenfranchised. And they will opt to.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break. When it's still sweet. Let's take a break. We are coming back. Ireri, Naftali, stay with me. We'll be right back shortly with this. We are starting the real conversation shortly after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's now time for us to get deeper into our discussion. Ireri Mwathi, political analyst, and Naftali Nyamigo is a political analyst. So, gentlemen, let's get straight into it. Over the weekend, Cherargei, who is a senator, said that the presidential term limit should be reviewed. That was his proposal, and he actually presented that memorandum to the Bipartisan Talks team at the Bomas of Kenya. But the question is, in as much as this is happening, it's still a proposal and a memorandum to the Talks team. So who is pushing this agenda? This is not the first time it's cropping up in a span of months. This is the second time, actually. So who is pushing this agenda? They say that when it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, skips, sleeps, it's like probably a duck.
Then it's a duck.
Then it's a duck. Really?
True. Yes. Let us look at it in this dimension. One, it is coming, this issue is coming from nobody else but Senator Sergei, the Nadi senator. The community, or rather the people of Kenya, there are some things they have in mind. That one, the Nadi senator is somebody who they think, either it may be true or not, is a senator who may not had 2 months having not taken tea with the president. For example, is a senator who is a call away and they can joke, they can talk with the president freely because he is a stand supporter of the president. He is somebody who they can talk mother tongue, they can speak mother tongue with the president. So that means is the public will see it as if this is somebody who, whatever he is talking, he must have whispered it to the president. So, from the leadership angle of it, this issue is not very good for the president and also for the Republic of Kenya. Why? Because people see it as if this thing has been discussed somewhere and then Senator Sergei has just brought it forward. When this happens, people may think, or the public may view it as if it is bringing or returning what we achieved, what Kenya achieved in 2002 during the days of one-party rule, bring it back. So the Republic of Kenya, or the Mwananchi, we have today is informed. I would think Senator Sergei, whatever he is bringing about the term limit is something that is way taking Kenya back many years ago.
Right.
So at the end of it all,
specifically the repeal of Section 2A.
Of the one party rule where we and presidential term, we are derived president. You will be president till death.
And remember even by then, President Moi had ruled. So after the repeal of Section 2A, he continued.
He continued for
yes.
now the 2 terms. Look at it in this direction. Senator Sergei may look at it, people may, or the public may look at it as if it is something that has been discussed behind the curtains, and now he is just bringing it forward. This may lower the popularity of the president, because you will not divorce Senator Sergei and the president. You will not divorce Senator Sergei and the Kenya Kwanza government. So when people look at it that way, they may not point their guns at Senator Sergei. They may look at it as if the president of the day is behind this. And this may lower his political base, especially in Mount Kenya region.
Perhaps
because Mount Kenya,
this statement is now, for the second time, is acting as a bait. You know, you throw it and wait and start the water. If there's something, then you bring it back.
They may think that it's just testing the waters.
Yes.
Seeing how the public will react, who will support this, who will be against it, so that at least they can now see what to do about it. And that's why you see the Kenya Kwanza government, through the Secretary General, was very vast to say that those are his views. But we are yet to see who are supporting this kind of idea. Because at the end of the day, it may Senator Sergei may also maybe be wanting to. I started by saying any publicity is publicity. He was in headlines yesterday, so he may be wanting to build his name. But however much you bring it, everybody in Kenya today is talking of the Nadi Senator.
What is the dangers of now starting the waters and throwing the bait, waiting for the results? You know, when there's a catch, bring it back, because bring it back would mean you are getting back the report, either to whoever sent Cherargei or even to him. He passed a message and now there is some kind of reaction from members of the public or even from the political circle, civil society in generally. The dangers of sending the bait out.
Yeah. The point where we need to get clear or clarify is that increasing the term limits of the president is not abolition of multi-party. That one we must get clear. Because the repeal of Section 2A ushered in multipartism. Nonetheless, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 also anchored or pondered multipartism. Now we have Kenya is a sovereign republic, and the Republic of Kenya shall be founded on the principles of democracy and multi-party doctrines. So any member, be it a member of parliament or an ordinary citizen, who may bring any conversation about the term limit of the president, either increasing it or limiting it, or decreasing it, it is in order, because this is what the people of Kenya have envisaged in our constitution. Now, in regard to whether it is proper or right to initiate the amendment of the constitution, either through parliamentary or popular initiative, then we look at the items, which ones can be amended by parliament and which ones can be amended by a popular initiative. A term of office of the president cannot be amended by parliament.
It has to go through the population.
It must go to a popular initiative, because this forms the basic structure doctrine. You remember when we had BBI and a Kenyan went to the High Court to seek whether it was in order to have the perpetrators of BBI bring those amendments to the Constitution, from the High Court to the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. The issue of the basic structure doctrine emanated, and it was the main reason why BBI was dropped. Why? There are aspects herein that you cannot amend our constitution using our representatives. No, they must go where?
Was it a silent agenda in the BBI?
Remember, Victor, BBI had 2 reports. We were given one report.
Yes.
The other report, which we don't know, was hidden. You remember very well.
Yes.
And we asked, where is the other report? So it means that there is lack of that unbroken or undivided completeness from our leaders. Some of our leaders, whom we have put confidence in, do not think well for us. Because like now, a serious issue of BBI, we have 2 documents. The people of Kenya are given only 1 document. Then we never knew what were the contents of the other.
So how good was BBI then? I mean, because you're talking about, we are in the new dispensation altogether, Naftali, and based on the report Kenyans received, the first report, the second one we've not seen to date. So how good was the BBI?
The reason why I'm saying that the BBI, one of the reasons why it dropped is that we were given 2 documents. And there was that element of opaqueness. We never knew, we never understand. It was not easily understood. It was not transparent. And this one came from our leaders.
Yes.
The same thing now, we are expecting some members of parliament having a talk on amending our constitution, because increasing the term limit of the president is literally amending the constitution, and amending our constitution on the items that touch the basic structure doctrine.
Yes.
So it is not something we needed to trivialize. We needed to invite that conversation by Honorable General.
Can it pass the test of time?
Let me tell you, let us give him what? An opportunity. He brings those issues, then we have an opportunity also to sit down and exchange views, because we have freedom of opinions.
Which is true.
And the views.
UDA quickly, recanted that statement and said, this is personal opinion.
But UDA is a party, one party.
Cleophas Malone said yesterday that that's not the
I'm
opinion
telling
and the
you,
stand of UDA.
UDA is just one of our political parties. UDA is not sovereign. UDA is just a party. We have Azimio and ODM.
I have the press release here. Okay, we can separate the 2. Yes.
Can you ask whether it can pass the test?
Go ahead.
Of the day? And one of the answer is no. Straight answer is no.
Why?
Why? Because there is the governance bit of it, and there is the political bit. This is something that can bring a lot of misalignments in the Republic of Kenya politically. I don't think the current Kenya Kwanza government is ready about this. Why am I saying it can bring issues? Number one, there are people looking at 2032 as we talk.
What if 2027?
So, forget about 2027. Those who are in
Why
the opposition,
2032?
Those who are in the opposition are looking at.
We have a 5 electoral cycle.
Those who are in the Kenya Kwanza,
yes,
are looking at because they know the presidential candidate will be the sitting president. So, if you are in Kenya Kwanza, you are aligning yourself for 2032 because they know that nobody will come. Those who are in Kenya Kwanza to come and say, "I'm the presidential candidate in 2027. So those who are in Kenya Kwanza, for example, we are talking of the deputy president today. We are talking of the
majority leader.
Leader, yes. Yeah. We are talking of Musalia Mudavadi. All of them, most of them are looking. Even others who are in the government. There may also be others who are looking at past Luto succession. When now the term limit extends, what does that mean? That would mean Luto will serve for the 5 years, and then this will take effect from 2017.
Yes.
So another 14 years.
2027.
From 2027, then now count 14 years from then. 7 plus 7, because it cannot take effect from this term.
Yes.
It can only take effect from 2027. In case so many people will look at will see as if they have been blocked from their political dreams. That means they will oppose it in the best way possible. Another thing we are looking at, even if that happens, some people are looking at it as that means we will be having 2 elections.
Okay.
Today, what we are having one election election time. It's just one for the president or the 6. If that happens, it will mean that we will be having a presidential election different from other elections. What are the repercussions? Number one, the cost. What is the cost of doing 2 elections in Kenya? Our election is very expensive. Number 2, we have heard of voter apathy in Kenya. Remember, during the last election, if those people who had registered as voters but did not turn up for voting,
8 million of them,
if they were given, if we gave them their ballot, remember, their president would be the president today. Because those who did not vote, those who had registered and didn't vote, were more than those who elected President Ruto. What does that mean? There was a lot of voter apathy. Many people did not turn up. Now, in our election system today, we are electing 6 people, 6 leaders. Remember, there are people who go to the ballot station, to the voting station, because of an MCA. Because it's the MCA we see, so me, I'm going to vote for the MCA, but I'll definitely vote for the other 6. So if we have a presidential election alone, that would mean we would have less than 20% voter turnout.
Very good. But
what does that mean? We will be ruled by the minority.
When you have got 2 elections, which is not actually in our constitution as we speak, it's a one-off thing. So you'd imagine other elective positions, these people they're also going to ask questions. Why are we having an election to favor one person? And the electoral law says very well that an election is for all the elective positions, from the president until the last one, MCA. So having 2 elections, I mean, look at it. Even in the UDA, Naftali, do you really think even in between the presidential cycle therein, people receive that Cherargay's message in a positive
There's
way?
one thing that we need again to get clear. You cannot handle the sitting president and assume that he will rule for maybe 2 terms. The best way to go about it is looking at the vacancy of the office of the president. How do we have the vacancy in the office of the president? You can't assume that William Ruto will be in office till these years. No. You look at the provisions in the Constitution in regard to vacancy in the office of the president. Number 1, the president may be impeached. The president may be impeached. Number 2, the president may be incapacitated, either mentally or physically. Number 3, the president may die. All these provisions have been anchored in the Constitution. How can you base your argument that because Ruto will lead this country for these years, so we begin strategizing ourselves from here? Who told you? So there's that lack of knowledge about the office of the president. Even Ruto himself knows he may not go for 2 terms. Maybe, he knows.
President Ruto.
Maybe. Why do you think for him? He may resign. Victor, you see, this element of generalizing that we have, this has been happening. We were told last time that there is no way a deputy president can be a president in Kenya immediately. We were told that. But was it? It wasn't.
All this because of the electoral position.
We were told many things. You know, this element of building our opinions and views through our past and then leaning to some doctrines must stop.
So what is the dangers of having such kind of an idea of, a proposal, whether it's personal or it's just a silent proposal by the party, or whether it was Cherargay's proposal or amendment to the bipartisan talk? So what are the dangers of having that proposal?
About what?
The presidential term limit.
The president, when we amend our constitution in regard to the term of office of the president, we are not amending it in regard to an individual.
Very good.
We are amending it for us.
Okay.
You may be the president.
Okay. Let me ask you, Radio. So what is the political ramification?
No, the political ramification is what you are thinking and what I am thinking.
Okay, you ready? Take it away.
Look at it in this angle. If minus whoever, let us talk of the presidency, not talking of the whoever is there. The term limit, extending it for 10 years, to 7 years. Number one, it doesn't. We don't have a governance program with 5 years. There's no. Even Chergai himself was not able to convince in his memorandum why he is extending it. He was talking of time for the president to prepare the vast term. Number one, when you go to election and you are in the ballot, you prepare for what you do in advance. That's why you have an agenda for the country. That's why you have a manifesto. That means from day one, once you put the Bible down, you are the president and start working. We saw it when he was sworn. When he was sworn, we saw it. He made some issues for the republic. For example, he talked about the subsidy. In that meeting, when he was sworn, he said there will be no subsidy for fuel that same day. So there's no issue. There is no issue of wanting more time. Because 5 years are enough. US has 4, and they're comfortable with that. So extending it to 7. And maybe as we go on, we will see where the 7 came from, because it was in the BBI.
Where did it come from?
The 7 was in the BBI. It was a proposal in the BBI.
Yes.
But what those who are proposing it had in mind was when we elect a president.
Yes.
In his first term, in his operations, he operates still thinking of the votes for a second term. So there are some things he may do, knowing that I'll be with these people again in 5 years' time. So I may not perform in the way that I want, because I'll go to these people again.
Yes.
So those people, when BBI wanted or were looking at it, why don't we give the presidency a term, only one election, so that as he works, he doesn't think of going to people again. But now, they were not thinking of going to 7 years and then 7 years again.
Let's go back to BBI.
They were talking of 7 years, one term.
Based on what you're saying, if that proposal were to pass today, or we go for an election, whichever way, an amendment, or we go to popular initiative, and boom, we have it. Let's go back to BBI when President Uhuru Kenyatta was still in power. We would still be having another president, Uhuru Kenyatta, in power. Because if you mean, according to what you're saying, Naftali, that there was a second hidden card somewhere, then it would mean, had BBI passed, then right now we'd still be talking about President Uhuru Kenyatta. Because he would have started his new phase of presidency. Yes. So who stands to benefit and lose in as far as this conversation is concerned?
And again, I will repeat, an amendment to our constitution, if it is done in a proper way, it is for the benefit of the people of Kenya as a whole, not as an individual. If we amend the constitution today, do not look at the president, whether Uhuru Kenyatta or William. These are holders of this office. You may be an holder. I may be, or him.
Oh, you started with me.
Yeah. so do not individualize or personalize an amendment to the constitution to an individual. What we need to do is to invite a transparent conversation without bias, without undue or preconceived opinions. Is it working for us? Is it the right time? How do we do it legally and constitutionally? That is the main thing.
I mean, and that's the question. What is wrong with 5 years?
What is wrong with 5 years?
What is wrong? Okay, equally.
Or what is wrong with 7 years?
With 7 years?
Yeah, there's something wrong with the 7 years. One, it would mean that these other elections are going for 5 years, others is 7 years. So we cannot do them at the same time. If we do it at the same time, that means we will do it only once. That means we are having 2 elections.
Right.
I said the dangers of 2 elections. Number one, voter apathy. Because when you are going to elect the president alone, and when you are going to elect 6 people,
yes,
turnout will be more when you are electing 6 people. Because there is somebody coming because he is coming to elect an MCA, somebody is coming to elect a senator, somebody is coming to elect a governor. So they come and so we expect the
also that's what happened with Mombasa election, with that delay.
Otherwise, minor, yeah.
Yes.
Look at the percentage of the turnout in Mombasa because we are going to governor alone and Kakamega, I think. Look at the voter turnout when we are going for the governor alone. That would mean if we go it that way and have an election for the president alone, we will go the Nigeria way, where the president was elected, I think, with 30% of the whole. We don't want Kenya to go that direction. I'm telling you, if we go in that direction, to get even 50% turnout will be a problem. Number 2, the cost. The other issue is, you change something because it is problematic.
Yes.
Nobody is writing, including my friend here, is not telling us what the problem we have with the 5 years. So if there is no problem with the 5 years, and there are advantages, just like I've highlighted, why are we changing it? We don't change things for the sake of changing. We don't bring problems where they are not. Because, as you had asked, it will bring more political problems and more political realignment. In case it passes.
Yes.
In case it passes, number one, you'll see people in opposition jabbing to the government side, people in the government side jabbing to the opposition, other realignments coming. Why? Because as you plan, as they enter into the political circles, they knew this is our constitution. And this is one of the things anchored in the constitution that is so difficult to change.
Gentlemen, let me ask you, when this is the second time this idea is coming up. First it came, there was a bit of some furor there, and people talked about it, and then at some point it fizzled out. Months later, it's now the second time we're having it. In the wisdom of the president, do you think the president should tell his lieutenants that you guys stop this debate or continue? What do you think the president should do? Because it's like the president is now torn between a rock and a hard place. The issue of term limit is cropping up in a span of months between a rock and a hard place. Naftali?
Freedom of speech. You see,
it may be so, but
freedom of speech and expression.
But the political impact.
My freedom of speech and expression will not go beyond saying what you are not saying. I have to express myself. If any member has an issue in Kenya Kwanza or Azimio, despite the fact that their leaders are not of that opinion, the Constitution has given them the freedom of speech. That's why we have that condition to be free, to free our minds, to express our opinions. So the president cannot and should not extend his thinking by way of coercing that stop this and this. Every member should be given an opportunity to express themselves in regard to our democratic values.
All right.
I think it's different, right?
Okay. As we wind up.
Yes, yes. I think the president should be in a position of telling his lieutenants, especially the Senator Sergei, this threat or this is dangerous for my second term. Why? Because at the end of the day, Senator Sergei is an individual with all his freedom of expression and whatever. But remember, he is in Kenya Kwanza government. Number 2, he is a close ally of the president. So there's something he can say that may be dangerous to the president. There's something he can say that can be dangerous to the Kenya Kwanza government. Irrespective of his freedom of expression, I think it is important. If it is if my freedom of expression is dangerous to my friend, is dangerous to the group that I am in, then I should hold it.
All right.
So the president should tell him, just hold. This is dangerous for my second term.
Naftali, you ready? Thank you so much, gentlemen. Short and sweet. That's how we do it here on Good Morning Kenya. Asante sana. It's quite an interesting debate because we are waiting to see how the Bipartisan Talks Committee team is going to receive that memorandum, how they are going to act on it. But because of political interest, again, we'll be here. I promise. I promise. We are going to dig deeper into this based on that report that will come from the Bomas of Kenya. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me on the show. Tumemaliza hiyo. So we're taking a break and we'll come back. We'll be crossing over to Radio Taifa. Rashid Momkondo is standing by. Zinga, of course, with Honorable Obadia Barongo, is Member of Parliament, Obomachoge Burabu, as well as David Alulu, political analyst. What are they talking about? Political realignment, almost the same thing we're talking about now. But here, he'll be handling it in a Kiswahili format. All right, my name is Victor Lo. Have a good morning. Bye-bye for now.